Your body doesn't just need water, it needs electrolytes every single day to hydrate properly. Electrolytes are like the spark plugs that keep your gut moving, they help prevent bloating, and they keep your brain energized. Plain water just cannot do that on its own. But stop wasting money on chemical bombs like sports drinks because they wreck your gut. Those neon-colored bottles are loaded with sugar, fake flavors, and chemicals your gut hates. Sure, they hydrate you, but they throw off your digestion and leave you more depleted in the long run. But the good news, you don't need to buy expensive electrolyte or sports drinks. You can actually make them at home. They're healthier, they're cheaper, and you can custom make them for exactly what you have or what your body needs. So whether you're recovering from a workout or fighting off fatigue, or you're just sweating through a hot day, today we're gonna make 2 super quick hydration drinks that you can whip up in 2 minutes or less, and you've probably got those ingredients at home right now. And they'll hydrate you better than plain water, that's for sure. And they'll actually support your gut, your brain, and your body. So one of them's a coconut lime cooler, and the other is a citrus honey hydrator. I'll also cover the type of water you drink makes a huge difference to your gut health, which salts are the best to use in your kitchen, and which ones you definitely want to avoid, and why I personally use honey over some of those artificial sweeteners like Monkfruit. And stick around to the end, I'll show exactly how you can get the full recipe for both of these drinks so you can add them to your daily or weekly menu easily. Hi guys, I'm Leilani. I'm a chef, I'm a clinical nutritionist, I'm a super busy mum. I release cooking classes and talks every week, so hit the bell and you can get the notifications to help your gut healing bite by bite every week. Now, I'm a pretty active person. I run around with responsibilities all day. And I used to get really dizzy, and I thought it was from not eating enough protein because I was carrying my 2-liter bottle with me everywhere. But then my friend at work was bringing in some of the homemade electrolyte drinks that she was making, and I naturally take things and try things that others bring in. And what I noticed that my energy was able to be more stable through the day. So you never really know. Give these a try. They're really super simple, super quick, and see if that makes a big difference to your energy. And let me know in the comments if you have your own homemade electrolyte drink and what's in it, because let's do this health journey together. Right, let's get into it. So I've got the first thing, and one of the most important things with any electrolyte drink is the water. Okay, I know this is just a glass of water, but this is the cleanest water that I can find. I have a reverse osmosis filter that I use. I cannot stress enough why the foundation of this is clean water. Now, I talk about water and a lot of other chemical bombs that you're having on a daily basis that really blow up your microbiome. One of the reasons is they're like, if you're having water every day, it's like a grenade to your microbiome. So it doesn't matter what you're putting in if you're blowing up the bad guys every single day. So invest in whatever filter you can afford. So that's number one, clean water. Now, for an electrolyte drink, you're going to need, essentially, there's sort of 7 to 9 different chemicals, but what you want is potassium and sodium. These are essential. So everything else is on top of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put sodium, salt, okay? This is the first one. And this is a Celtic sea salt. I do mix my salts up a lot. But what this does, it keeps the fluid balance and it helps your body hold onto the water, not just pee it out. Some of the other good salts that you'll use, or you can use, Himalayan. I use iodized sea salt quite frequently. I talk about that heaps in all my cooking classes, particularly for thyroid health. And if you're having a lot of soy, and I can do a talk on soy because if you're having soy products, which is okay in moderation. You need to have iodine, otherwise it's going to throw your thyroid off. Any kind of good sea salt, it's really not that expensive. They're mineral rich, and they're so much better than table salt that's got all these chemicals, anti-caking agents in there that, again, throw off the microbiome. And when you're talking about gut health, it is no wonder that we have an epidemic of bad gut. Every single day, we're throwing chemicals at our bodies. And so if it's in the water and the salt and the food that we're eating, how can we recover? So 1 or 2 supplements here and there is not going to work. You need to be very conscious of what you're eating, at least as much as possible. You don't have to be 100% squeaky clean, but making these small changes. So I'm going to put a bit of salt, and this recipe will be available in my Gut Love email club. So I'll put that there. And I'm making 1 cup, obviously, but normally I would make, sometimes I throw this together really quickly, but normally I make a big batch of it and just keep it on the side because it does keep well. Okay, so the next thing is we need the potassium. You can get that from citrus fruits. So I've got a couple of different fruits here. Obviously got lemon and lime. They've both got vitamin C. It also helps this smooth contraction of the intestines. So it keeps the digestive tract flowing, which is a great thing. But I'm going to use both today. You can use one or either. Now, generally speaking, if you're going to choose one, choose the orange, because the salt, let's be honest, salt water, not overly delicious. So we need to have something in it that is going to make it more palatable. And that's why I'm going to add and make a huge mess of this orange that's all over the counter. All right, that's going to mask some of that salt flavor. I'll just use that half for now. The lemon is just really good for digestion and also adds more potassium, adds more vitamin C. It is optional though, but I had both. I'm going to add both. I'm obviously not going to add quite as much lemon. And believe it or not, that's kind of the foundation. If you only do that, that is a lot better than water. Now I'm going to step it up a little bit because that's what I do. I like to elevate depending on where you're at. So I'm going to add a bit of honey. You don't have to add honey. You definitely don't. If I was adding lemon, I would add honey, okay? Generally, since I've got the orange, I wouldn't necessarily, but I'm going to layer on top of this, and I'm going to tell you why I add honey. And it's just a little bit, yeah? So this is a raw honey. Honey, or sweetener in it, actually helps the gut absorb the water and the sodium faster. It's also a prebiotic. It's got 180 different prebiotic compounds that help the microbiome. So we're talking about feeding lactobacillus, bifidobacteria. That was probably a little bit too much, but I'm feeling like I need a bit of sugar today because I'm going no sugar at the moment. So that's going to be my little treat. Now honey, believe it or not, I know it's going to look, if you look inside there, you probably see it at the bottom, but if you, in little chunks, but if you give it 5 minutes, it's actually going to dissolve right in. Now, people ask me a lot, what other sweeteners do I use? It's a long topic, and I'm just going to talk about a couple here. I've mentioned why I love honey, and raw honey I talk about all the time as the bee's knees of honey. But monk fruit, for example, by itself as a sweetener, by itself, not bad, actually really good. But it's so sweet that they have to add a bulking agent to the monk fruit. And that bulking agent usually has things like maltodextrin, erythritol, and they, particularly if you've got a compromised gut, which most people do, they cause a lot of bloating and gas and even diarrhea. Now, I talk a bit about hidden sugars in foods because sugar is a big deal and it is everywhere. So check out my talk on hidden sugars in everyday foods. I'll put the card right here. You can go check it out later because you can't believe how much sugar. It shows you how to read a label, how to just in an instant, or depending on your math skills, how to read the label and decode how much sugar is actually in there, particularly for kids. Like I've got a son and I just don't want him being pumped with sugar. So anyway, I'll stop. That's enough on that one, right? We'll keep moving. So the next thing, this little capsule, look at this. Take a guess if you can think of what it is. Give you a second. Yes, it's magnesium. Now, this is not essential, but it's helpful if you're prone to cramping, constipation, or fatigue. And this is one of the components in electrolyte drinks generally. I have magnesium supplements. Magnesium is a really good one for most people to supplement, and it's safe. When I say that, I do want you to check with your health practitioner. I don't know your personal case, but generally magnesium is something you need for a lot of different, like even the nervous system, you know what I mean? So it helps calm you, it helps relieve your gastrointestinal tract as well and just keep things a bit fluid. So I'm going to pop open that capsule and put a little bit in there. That's optional, but I do recommend it. You can also just take it with it. You know what I mean? You could take the thing with it at the same time. So then you don't get so much like nice little powdery bits in there. But I don't mind. I'm always eating crazy things and people looking at me like, you drink that? Like, yeah, it helps a lot for different things. All right, so moving along, the next thing is part of the component of an electrolyte drink is calcium. Now, if you're getting enough calcium in your diet, it doesn't matter so much, to be honest. This is one of those next level up. I had it, I'm gonna add it. And it is, chia. Let me know in the comments quickly, what do you do with chia? Like, I'm always looking for new ways to get it in my diet. I love chia, it's got so many good things in it. Let me know what you do with it. But anyway, for those people who don't know, this is chia. It's got a good amount of calcium, omega-3s. You can also use almond milk if you want to add to this, although I can't imagine that being very nice. But that is an option for you. Now, we're not going to add very much chia, to be honest, because it is just an addition and it is very optional as long as you've got the first few in there. And I'll just stir it around and that will just swell up a little bit in about 5 to 10 minutes. Generally, I have chia already made in the fridge and I put a spoon of it in different things, but I'm open to new recipes. I've even, in my gut health course, I have a whole chia, black forest chia that I love. I go through phases of it, but I'm always looking for new ways to include healthy ingredients, so throw them my way. And that's it. That is our quick electrolyte honey citrus drink. So I would have 1 to 2 of these a day. You don't have to just have electrolyte drinks, but that is the easy, quick, at-home version. Like I said, you can just stay with the first 3 ingredients, the water, the salt, and the potassium, which is the citrus fruits, or just the orange, and go for that. Okay, the next one is so simple. It's just a couple of, few ingredients, shall I say. So we're going to add coconut water, okay? And this is, you can choose whatever one you prefer, but this is one of my favorites. Now, coconut water is basically nature's sports drink. It has potassium and magnesium, but it is low in sodium. So that's why we're going to add the sodium. And I'm basically going to do a half-half thing. So half coconut water, half very clean. This is like ultra filtered water. Half water. I'm going to add some of the salt, and I've already spoken about this, and you'll see how like unbelievably quick this is to make. Okay, bit of salt. Lime, always good. They're so expensive and you barely get any juice out of it, so always roll it first. It's like rock hard. It feels like a cricket ball, to be honest. So I'm going to put, look how gorgeous that is. So this is a little vitamin C boost. It's also got a bit more potassium. You can just have the coconut water on its own, and I do drink this a lot in the summer, but it is a little bit sweet, and so we're just kind of trying to reduce the amount of sugar that I've got going there. That's it. And you can smell the zesty lime. It's very fragrant. It just needs a little squeeze. You can't really see. It's a nice little cloudy. Let's have a taste. Yeah, it's refreshing. It's zingy. You can also add the magnesium powder to this. You could also add the chia, a spoon of chia to this. But bam, there you go. It's so easy. I hope you guys try this at home. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if there's any other topics or foods you want me to, or meals you want me to turn gut healthy. I'm here at your service. Until next time, love your guts.